this is Jen, and I'm back with another process video for my collection Disconnection series. This is a series where I show you how to take one collection. In my case, I am using the Create Paper Wonder collection, and create layouts that look very different from each other and that go with different themes. Up until now, I have scrapbooked a lot of kid photos because I take a lot of photos of my daughter and my nephew, but I wanted to show you how you can use this kid themed collection with a photo of adults, and these are adult males. So I haven't pre-planned anything, so you're just going to go along with me on this ride, and I'm going to go ahead and put you on fast forward and get to work.
So I'm starting by going through all of my papers, and I'm looking specifically for blues and browns that I know are in the kit, as well as some of the other neutrals. And I know that there's black, and I'll also pull a little bit of red as well. I'm just going through all of those papers, and I will decide which ones to use here in just a minute. And I'm also going to go through all of the embellishments and see what I might want to use. So again, just pulling out all of the things that are in the colors that I'm going to use that will also possibly work for older men, because little one fits the colors, but it obviously isn't going to work for this layout. So I'm being mindful of that. And I'm just putting them in this little dish here. I got that dish from my grandma when she died. She used to always keep lemon drops in it, and I love that dish, and it's been working great for me for this purpose. Those other die cuts that I'm going through now are actually cut aparts from the 6x6 paper pad. And I have a full-size cut apart sheet as well, but I like using those little ones to tuck in different places. And I am looking at the stickers to see if there are some things on there that I might want to use as well. And now I am going to go through and decide which papers to use. So I'll end up deciding almost immediately to use that corrugated looking paper for a mat on my photo, and then I'm looking through the 6x6 paper pad to see what scraps I already have and what I can pull from there. 6x6 paper pad really extends the life of your kit. I've noticed that I have not used a ton of paper, and this is, I think, my 5th layout, so I am getting a lot out of this, and I think I'll probably have some left over even after 10 layouts. So I'm matting my photo on some white cardstock because I always do that. This is a larger photo, it's 6x6. I think the white cardstock just helps it to pop, and I want the focus to be on the photo, so that's why I always do that. I am just cutting a little mat here. Like I said, I'm using a 6x6 photo. If I have one photo to tell my story and I know that, I'll often print it larger because it takes up more real estate on the page. I cut that strip that I had left over from the 6x6 paper pad in red in half so it could stretch across the bottom of that photo, and then I'm using a strip of the blue paper as well, just kind of creating an anchor or a base for these photos, or for this photo. And I am going to create kind of a vertical design on this layout. I'm looking to use that corrugated alphabet for the title, and I was thinking I might want to change the color of it. So I'm sorry I'm out of frame here, but what I'm doing is I'm painting some Heidi Swapp patina color shine onto a Z and seeing if I want to change the color that way. I got a little bit on that red paper you can see there, that mist, but it's okay. It'll still work out. So I'm not going to paint these, or at least for now I'm deciding not to, and I am going to put my title on some wax paper. I know I want the title to be Cook Boys, and this is actually in Sisters, Oregon, and so I was thinking of doing Cook Boys in Sisters. I don't know. It was kind of weird, a weird thought, and I will still mention that, but I'm going to make it smaller than I had originally planned. Anyway, so I'm getting some of the die cuts now and placing them around the layout, and I kind of want, like I said, I'm going to do a linear or a vertical design, and I want it to be kind of balanced on either side, so it's going to be quite symmetrical. I like the idea of using this deer head, not necessarily because it's masculine, but because, so the photo is from when we went to my grandma's funeral in Oregon this last January, and my grandma lived right by a reindeer farm. And so it has like a subtle nod to that as well in my mind. No one else might pick up on that, but for me, that's part of the reason I'm including it. And I found that sticker that says, "Be kind and brave, that's all you ever need to be." And I love that sticker. So now I am just dovetailing the ends of that blue piece because I want it to have a little bit of something extra to it. And I'm going to go ahead and start getting this stuck down before I get too far into the design. So I'm just trying to line it up and get it straight. And I realized that I stuck that down first, but I wanted the red to go underneath it. And so I'll have to lift it up here in just a second. That sticker is also going to get lifted up several times. It wasn't straight here, and then I'm actually going to end up moving it before the end. So now I am just trying to make sure I get these red pieces straight, and I want the blue pieces to hang off the edge of the red piece just a little bit. So I'm just lining it up to make sure that that happens, and making sure that I have those X's, which is what those little dots are little X's on that red paper, lined up too. Just adding a little bit of extra adhesive. And now I'm going to look through the stickers to see if there's anything else that I might want to add. And here comes that sticker up again, so I can see if I want to put that piece underneath it. I decide not to. And then here's where I decide to, well, I was thinking about doing Cook Boys at Cook's Nook in Sisters. And so I thought about using that @ symbol that was on the sticker sheet, but I decided instead to go over to my typewriter and type it up. So that's where I've gone right now. And there I am. And I'm going to cut that really small, and it's just going to be kind of like my little caption there. And I really like the way that the white looks on top of the cream, because I'm weird like that. I'm going to pop up that deer head on some thin foam squares, and I'm going to place it between the words cook and boys, and I really like the way that that looks. Makes it feel like a real title, not just like I threw the things together, but like they go together kind of, and I like that. So I am going to go ahead and get that stuck down as well. And just trying to center everything. So like I said, very, very symmetrical and vertical design this time. And I am not getting everything perfectly straight. That's okay. Even when I do a really clean and simple and linear or graphic design like this, then I'm still imperfect and I embrace it. So I decided that I wanted to add a little bit more of that pop of white type onto the layout. And so I went and typed up the names of the boys. And it's my dad and my brother on the left and my uncle and my cousin on the right. And so I typed up their names and I put an ampersand between each name and then an and in the middle of the two, if you can see that. So it says Brian ampersand Stephen because they belong together, and then it says and David ampersand Jacob because they belong together. I decided to again move that sticker because I didn't want the words right next to each other, so I'm going to move it up to the top. And now that's when I decide to kind of make this layout go in a vertical line from top to bottom on the middle there. I cut that little die cut in half and put part of it at the top. And it says kind on that die cut at the very bottom, so I made sure that you could still read that word kind. And I added some enamel dots at the top to fill the space there. And I'm going to stamp the date, which is just January 2015. So I'm using my Chamel roller date stamp where the date and the year are right next to each other to stamp that, and just inking up the date and year and stamping it in some old, close to my heart, tulip ink. I don't think that color's around anymore. And I'm going to do a little bit of journaling on this little tag here and just writing why we were in Oregon. I have a lot of photos from when we went to my grandma and my uncle's funeral because we road tripped for both of them and did a few other things. And so I'm thinking about creating a whole entire album about that, which might sound strange, but it was a big time in our lives, and it took a lot of photos and processed a lot of thoughts. And so I think I might create a whole album about that time period. I already have maybe 4 layouts done, and I have lots more photos. And so I think I will create a whole album. It might be a smaller album, but yeah. So I'm going to go ahead and add some of the stars. I'm trying to figure out how I can balance the right side now that I've got the journaling on the left. It's a little bit heavier. I'm going to place that ampersand little tag thingy on the right, and I backed it with some white cardstock because I wanted the ampersand to stand out. I didn't want that open space to be over those multiple patterns there, and so I just put a little piece of white cardstock behind it. Now to bring in one more shot of yellow, I'm cutting off the very bottom of that tag that you see at the bottom of the screen, and I placed it above and below the right hand side of the photo. I stapled that tag on as well on the left. Here you can see I'm gluing that down. So it's just the tiniest little strip, but it gives a tiny pop of yellow to that side. So now I have yellow at the top center, yellow at the left, and a little pop of it at the right as well. Now I'm going to figure out where to put this other star, and I'm going to pop it up as well. I feel like I just need a little bit more going on either side so it feels balanced, because the shapes aren't exactly the same. I just need to find a way to do that, and so that's what I'm trying to figure out now. I thought about using some of the little dots that are on the alphabet sticker sheet to bring in that corrugated cardboard look, but I decide against it and pull them back off. And I go to my enamel dots next and try to see if there's something I want to add there. And I'm just kind of struggling a little bit for this last finishing touch. I want it to stay really simple. I remembered that I had that 4 little tag that I cut earlier, but now it doesn't quite fit into the design, so I get rid of it. And I just look through the die cuts one more time to see if there's anything I can add. Then I remember that I have these puffy stickers, and so I am going to add the 2 stars. And I really like the way that it kind of balances everything out. And so just going to get those stars stuck down. And you can see on the right, I have the blue star at the bottom and the puffy star at the top. And then on the left, it's the opposite. That's pretty much going to complete this layout. And I'm going to add some mist last, and I actually started out with some Heidi Swapp black color shine and then decided to add some black India ink. And of course I didn't cover up my photo, and I splattered a bunch right on the photo. You'll see that here in a second, but I like the way the huge drops add a little something to the layout. So I am going to call that one done. There's some close-up shots coming up, and I also have, if you haven't heard, I launched my first class, which is called Photo Triage Vacation Photos. It's live now. I've already had a great response. It just launched yesterday, and I'm excited to share it with you all. And I will share the promo video at the end of this video. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you soon. Hi there, it's Jen. There's something magical about being on vacation and discovering new places, exploring, eating new foods, and seeing beauty in nature, isn't there? These are some of my favorite memories, and I want to capture them all. If you're like me, you'll come home with hundreds or even thousands of photos, and it can be a little bit overwhelming. You might think, how will I ever scrapbook them all, and how will I choose which ones are most important? I want to show you my process for sorting through my photos to make sure the most important stories get told. I'll provide you with 5 lessons complete with instructional videos, PDFs, printables, and cut files. I'll also share ideas on ways to document your photos with an album flip through and 3 exclusive process videos. I hope that you'll join me on this journey to discovering and documenting your most important vacation memories. You can learn more in the information section below this video, as well as on the Classes tab on CraftyGenSchow.com.